Hey, good morning, everybody. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Mary. Can everybody hear me over on TikTok? Find which hook I'm using this morning. That's right. Hey, Diana. Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Sarah said we can hear you. Good morning, Sarah. Thank you. Well, there's my glasses. I was looking all over for my glasses. I couldn't find them. I'm off to a good start here this morning. You know how all that goes. So today we are resuming work on the Rosebud baby blanket. We worked on this on Thursday. We're doing pretty lavender colors this morning. This is Caron Simply Soft, and the purple is Orchid, the green is Sage, and then of course white. So it's people have been asking for the baby blanket again, and so I've been working on one. I do want to make a full length tutorial, but in the meantime, the recap that we did last week is live over on YouTube. So you guys can go back and watch that if you missed this center part last week. So, where we left off was with the white after the rosebud, and that's right where we're going to resume this morning. So, excuse me, if we look at our little sample piece, you can see here, this is where we finished here. So we're ready to do this next row. And this is half double crochet. So a very easy row of half double crochets. We have two in the corner, chain two, two in the corner. So that is one of the nice things is after we get done with the texture, we kind of have a more relaxing rows. Um, can you tell me why when I make the flower squares, they don't lay flat? I'm not sure. Mine kind of puff up though. This kind of puffs um because of the texture, but it does lay pretty flat. It could be maybe a tension thing. Mary, you might want to try to go up a size, maybe a size hook. Excuse me, Moy, I've got gremlins in my throat this morning. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. Is everybody getting ready for Thanksgiving? If you're in the U.S., I think we're going to do ours on Saturday. I um, I got out our turkey to thaw yesterday. We don't have any family or anything coming over. It's just the hubby and I. And I like to do ours on the smoker, but because I've been sick, the last couple weeks, I haven't really been that motivated about it. But I did get it out, and I think I'll do it on Saturday. That'll give me a few days. I Both of us are off of work Thursday and Friday, so that'll give me a couple days just to kind of chill and relax, and then I can brine the turkey. It's got a well, you don't have to, but I like to brine mine for 24 hours before I put it in the smoker. It just helps keep it really nice and moist. So I'll probably do that on Friday on my day off, and fire up the smoker Saturday morning, and we'll do our Thanksgiving on Saturday. So, what about all of you guys? You got family coming into town? Y'all having big celebrations? Watching some football, eating some turkey? Diana said, "Happy Thanksgiving. We only have four, so just a small celebration. Then we are going to see Wicked. Ooh, cool. I used to like to go to the movies in Arizona. My husband and I used to go a lot. It was kind of one of our little date nights out, if you will. But we don't have a theater here by us. It's like everything. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So if we were to go to a theater, they have one over in Albertville, which is about, I don't know, 50 minutes away, and we're never that ambitious. So um, now what I do is I will just cheat and I'll actually pay for it on Prime if it comes out early. Sometimes on Prime you can pay for it. And I think to myself, well, if we were going to go to the movies, by the time we drive an hour away and spend 20 bucks on popcorn, and I don't know the price of tickets these days, you're easily going to spend way more than that. So that's my way of going to the movies now. We just do home theater right here in our living room. It doesn't have the same ambiance, but you know, you make do with what you got. So, um, my daughter requested ribs and mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving this year. Joyce said, "That sounds good. I've been known to do some barbecue for Thanksgiving myself. There's nothing wrong with a nice steak on the grill for Thanksgiving. We've been known to do that as well. My husband did steaks on the grill last night. He must have been in the he's a meat and taters kind of guy, and he stopped off at the store on the way home, and he came in with steaks, and he picked up some macaroni salad at the store, and that's what we had for supper last night. So he was craving some meat, I guess. They were really nice, really good. The steak was delicious. Oh my gosh, it was. He got some New York strips, and normally he won't spend the money for those. And I just, it was really nice and tender and good. And he likes to cook the meat well done. I like it more of a medium, and so, um, I don't know. Sometimes it comes out really kind of hard. But last night, boy, he had it spot on. So it was a nice cut of meat for sure. Um, Anvil said I had T-bones last night too. Yeah, yum. Really good. I don't know. And then I wasn't really like thinking that much about Thanksgiving, but then over on Discord yesterday, Lefty and I were chatting, and she was telling me all the things that she's going to make with her Thanksgiving meal, all the sides and stuff. And boy, I'll tell you right then, I was like, oh, I'm ready for Thanksgiving sides now. Thanks, Lefty. So she was talking about a Brussels sprout casserole and this pumpkin mousse that she makes for her husband. He's diabetic, and so it's low sugar. And oh man, she had me drooling at my desk there. I was trying to work. She she had me all distracted. Hey, Janex, good morning. Is Mama Wheeler in the house? Mama Wheeler said she had a good outing on Thursday. She missed us. She was out with her photography friends, and they went over to kind of like it wasn't like a botanical garden. It was more like an animal type thing with birds and plants and everything. And so they went over there, and Papa Wheeler went with her, and they did some photography and stuff. But she had a good time. But um, anyhow, she's been working on the elephant pillow. You know, she's been working on that elephant for her. I guess it's her grand niece is what that baby would be. Guys, right now today I'm just doing a very easy row of half doubles, so I'm kind of chatting a little bit, but we're getting ready to transition here. So anyhow, I did get the elephant baby blanket. My husband's dropping it off at the UPS store tonight, and I'm glad to have that one on its way. It's going over Mama Wheeler's nephew and niece. They live over in Atlanta, so it doesn't have very far to travel. And I got that shipped off, and I got another baby blanket shipped off. That one's going to Arizona, and so I'm feeling pretty good. I actually got some stuff accomplished. So there's our square now. We just finished this very easy row of half double crochets, and all we're trying to do is put some distance between the rosebuds as we start working on more texture. So we're ready to start the next row of white, and we're working on the repeat right now. So as we are moving here, this is the row we just finished. You can see it there, and now we're getting ready to do these crossed double crochets. So again, this is another very easy row of. It does provide a little texture, but it is fairly easy to do. And then in the corner we have. Looks like I did 3 double crochets. Let me go up a row and see. I don't think we need 3. 2. Let's do 2. We're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2 like this one. Okay, so into the corner here, I'm going to chain 3. That counts as my first double crochet. Then I'm going to do another double crochet, chain 2, and now into that same corner, I'm going to do 2 more double crochets. So that's our corner for this round. Now we're going to do crossed double crochets. And I like to not include this very first one. It kind of makes it tight, but let me count these stitches and see how this will end if I do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, that'll work just fine. Okay, so I'm not going to count this stitch that's kind of tucked in here hiding as anything. I'm going to skip 2 stitches and then I'm going to go into the 3rd stitch and I'm going to do a double crochet. Now I'm going to do a crisscross and I'm going to go back and pick up this one that I missed. So I yarn over and I put my work forward and I put my hook under those bars, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you could do these a number of ways. Whichever way you choose, just be consistent with it. And I was going to try to look on this. Yeah, that's how I did them on this. I kind of like it. It does more texture that way. So now I'm going to, again, skip one into the next with a double crochet. Now I've got to come back and pick up that one that I missed. So I yarn over, I put my work forward, go underneath those 2 bars, grab a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. If you don't like going from the back, what you can do is go from the front. So you could go here into the 2nd stitch, double crochet, then you could do a double crochet in this one and crisscross them that way. And a lot of people do that. That would be totally fine as well. It just kind of gives it a different look. So again, come back and pick this one up right through the front. You can kind of see the difference. So whichever way you choose is totally fine. Just make sure you're consistent. I'm going to do all mine through the back like this. I just kind of like how that texture looks a little better. So I'm going to skip one into the next with a double crochet. And now I'm going to yarn over, go from the back, put my hook under the loops, grab a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. What are you guys struggling with? Let's see. Rachel said, I'm working on a star blanket. Star blanket is on my project list. I just have not done one yet, but I definitely want to try one. And I found one that Mikey does over on the Crochet Crowd. I have tried to watch the 6 day, um, and I just have a hard time following her. And so I don't know that I'm going to do the 6 day blanket, the 6 day star. I tried watching the 6 day superstar too, and I don't know. I don't, for whatever reason, I don't click when I watch her stuff. Betty McNitt is who I'm talking about. So I think I'll probably try to watch Mikey's um, star and see if I like that one, that I could do that one. But it's definitely been on my list. But right now I'm really focused on my donation blankets, and I'm trying to get the rectangle blanket, the rectangle wheelchair blanket that I'm developing. I'm trying to get that one kind of dialed in. I swear I have redone this one. I'm on my 7th attempt. Normally I don't struggle so much with blanket when I just sit down and crochet stuff. But I think I talked to Mama Wheeler about it over the weekend, and I think the reason why I am struggling with it is because I have to end up with a specific size. I need the wheelchair lap blanket to be 35 by 45. And so I kind of have some parameters I have to work within. And that part is what I am struggling with to keep it to that size. So there's our row of cross double crochets. Fun, fun texture. Now here we are to the corner, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets. And as you guys are doing this square, when you're first starting out, what I like to do is I like to keep a count of how many crisscrosses I'm doing and make sure I'm doing that on all the sides so the sides are square. It's kind of your opportunity, if you've got your stitch counts off a little bit, to get everything kind of back in line and back symmetrical. So that's what I'll try to do. You'll see me counting some stuff as I'm working on these rows. But basically I'm doing a cross double crochet. So I'm skipping one, and then into the next one, I'm putting a double crochet. Now I'm going to come back and pick up this one that I missed. So I yarn over and I'm going through the back. I put my work forward. I look for those 2 bars, slide my hook underneath, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So it's just a double crochet, but instead of from the front, we're accessing it from the back. Yarn, or a yarn over, skip the first one into the next one with a double crochet. Now I come back and pick up this little guy, yarn over, put my work forward, put my hook underneath. You can see the 2 bars there. Grab a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. That is a crossed double crochet. Skip 1 into the next, double crochet. Now come back and pick up this one that I missed. Welcome, welcome. Knitwitch said, I wish I saw this from the beginning. So if you want to go over on my YouTube, it's at Wheeler 8 Acres. We did this center part on Thursday last week. And there is the live replay. If you want to pick that up, you could watch that and see how I started from the very center. I am streaming live this morning on both YouTube and on TikTok. And for those that don't know, I saw a lot of new followers popping up this morning. My name is April, and I come live traditionally every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. Now, this week I'm only going to be on today and tomorrow because in the US we do have the Thanksgiving holiday, and I'm not going to go live on Thanksgiving. My husband will be home, and we're going to be spending some time together, and we're going to do our Thanksgiving on Saturday, but we'll just be chilling. He might be working out in the shop, but I'm not going to go live on Thanksgiving or throughout the weekend. So, anyhow, that's kind of my plan for this week. But because I am live on both platforms, uh, when I go live on YouTube, you can replay them. They usually take because I'm on for so long, they take at least a full day to process, and so sometimes I try to get them republished within by the second day. So anyhow, you could pick that up if you want to watch it over there. And eventually I want to make a full tutorial of this. So this blanket that I'm working on today is the Rosebud baby blanket. Again, in the corners here, you're going to have 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we're just going to keep working these crisscrosses. But I want to give this a quick count, and let's make sure that everything is staying symmetrical. Because if I do have too many or too few stitches, this is a great place to kind of even that out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, right on the money. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the notifications. I don't know if it's what I'm doing, if it's the TikTok itself. Um, I've never done anything special for notifications, and everybody was getting them before. I'm not doing anything different. So I really don't know why TikTok is not doing the notifications. But I am on at the same time every day. So, and I do publish the events ahead of time. Now, depending on where we get with this Rosebud baby blanket, I may work on this again tomorrow, just so you guys can kind of keep seeing. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to more of the rosebuds today, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see. But I might work on the rosebud again tomorrow and just kind of finish out the week that way. So we'll see. But I do. I didn't publish an event yet for tomorrow. I want to publish it after I see where I end today with this project. But this is the Rosebud Baby Blanket. And if you want to see the first part of this, where we first started, you can check this out on YouTube and be able to watch how we worked on this last week. And eventually I want to have a diagram of this, but for those, a lot of people know I'm not a pattern maker. I'm just a hobby crocheter. And so asking me to write a pattern is one of the hardest things. I don't really do that. I just sit down and start crocheting. But so many people have asked about this pattern because I did work on it on the pink blanket, that I am coming back on to revisit it and kind of show people what I'm doing. And hopefully you'll be able to follow along on the video. And it's a very easy repeating pattern. So once you get the repeat, and we're doing some of the repeat right now. This is the repeat right here. So when we get done with this, we're going to have, we're working on this cross double crochet right here. Then we're going to do a double crochet, and then you can see here's where we start the repeat again. So there's the next section, and it just keeps repeating that section. So really it's just this little center part here is different, and then you have the repeats. So here we are in the corner again. We're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Hey, Gen X girl, thank you for the gifts. Gobble, 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 gobble. We got the turkeys going off. Gotta love some good thing. And I made some new Thanksgiving stickers for you all. Happy Tuesday, Pam. Good morning. One thing I was going to mention, guys, I see Pam popping up there. She's a subscriber. Um, we are going to do the giveaway tomorrow for the yarn winder that I'm giving away. I forgot to bring it with me to my chair this morning, but I'll do that probably around 8 o'clock tomorrow. We'll do the spinny wheel. Since it is kind of, I won't be on again um, between now and the next time I'll be on is in December. I believe the month end is over the weekend. So anyhow, we'll do that subscriber giveaway tomorrow. But thank you for all the subscribers. It will cut off tonight. So if you want to get on the subscriber giveaway, I already have a yarn winder that I really like. I got mine off Amazon. It's on my link tree. But there was one of my crochet friends was promoting the yarn winder, and so I bought one to support their channel, and I'm just going to give it away to a subscriber because I don't need two. So it's not a mechanical one. It's just it's the one you guys have probably seen it all over TikTok Shop. So anyhow, I supported the channel, and then I'm going to give that away, and then that'll be our subscriber giveaway for November. But I just wanted to give a shout out to all of the subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you guys all for being here this morning on Thanksgiving week. Um, Annika, yeah, it's going to be for the subscriber giveaway for November. So anyhow, if you're a subscriber, you'll get entered in on that. We'll do the little spinny wheel like we did last month. And let me give a count on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that's the end of our cross double crochets. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch right here to the very beginning into the first stitch, and then I'm going to do another slip stitch over into the corner. I like to work from the corner that way. So there's our square so far. You can see that fun texture that it added. And now we're going to move to a very easy row of double crochets. In the corner, I'm going to start with a chain of 3 and then a double crochet. This chain of 3 counts as my first double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to do 2 more double crochets right into the corner. And this is very easy. I'm just going to do a double crochet into the top of each of these stitches all the way around. So we're setting up for a back post stitch on the next one. So we're going to be switching over to our lavender next and put a little more color into this blanket. So talk amongst yourselves as I work on some double crochets. But this is the Rosebud baby blanket that I'm working on this morning. And we might have time to get to some more rosebuds today. We'll just have to see how time goes. As I get farther out on this blanket, of course, the rows take me longer to get all the way around. So we'll just have to play it by ear and see. Um, Queen says, "Wow, I just ordered the yarn winder thing." Yeah, that's. I just wanted to support my crochet friend, and to be honest with you, I don't remember which one it was, but I know it was a guy, and he was trying to sell the crochet winders, on TikTok Shop. And so I wanted to support him so he could get a little commission. And then I thought, well, that'll be a fun giveaway item. I really like my yarn winder. My yarn winder is bigger and I have it clamped onto my coffee table. I use my yarn winder. Well, lately I've been using it a lot because I've ripped out my wheelchair blanket 6 times and I've done a lot of yarn winding. So I was talking to Mama Wheeler about my blanket. And I think I might be finally getting there. We're going to see. I did more math on it. I'm trying to get it to a very specific size. For a wheelchair lap blanket, the recommended size is 35 by 45. So it's making it a little challenging because I have to work within those parameters. And normally when I do crocheting, it's like, well, whatever size it turns out to be, it turns out to be. When I sat down and started making this baby blanket, it's worked in the square. So, when I get somewhere between 30 and 36 inches, I just call it good and I'm done. but with a rectangle, it is a little more challenging. So I can show you guys where I'm at with that blanket. I started redoing it yesterday for the seventh time, and I still don't know if it's going to work out to the right size, but I think it's closer. And I'll tell you what, if I can't get it this next time, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I'm pretty frustrated with it. So this I'm doing hot pink right now. I've been changing the colors, but this is where I'm at with it, the little lap blanket. So right now, let's see, I just finished, I was working on this earlier this morning. So I'm at 21. It's kind of pretty, huh? You like the pink? This is the colorway Jazzy. This is the Red Heart Super Saver ombre yarn with white. So I'm at 21 by 31. So I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be the right size. But it's definitely going to be a rectangle, and I'm trying to make it so that it's a wheelchair blanket. And so I'm getting ready to start. These puff stitches are I really like how these are turning out. They look like little gumdrops to me. So I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, it's this pink is really fun. It's the colorway Jazzy, but it's red heart ombre yarn. I like the red heart when I'm doing the donation blankets. And oh, I my Christmas ripple. You guys remember my Christmas ripple that I did? That's also a wheelchair blanket for donation. That one I washed over the weekend. It was red, white, and green. A lot of people were asking me, will the colors bleed? And I shared a picture of it over on the Discord yesterday after the wash. But you guys will remember me talking about that blanket. It was the green smelled like a chemically like a garlic, and I washed it on warm in my washing machine, and I put in a color collector sheet, and the white stayed really white. It the color collector sheet definitely picked up some color that was in the water, as it's supposed to do. The color collector sheets are by Shout, but I'll tell you what, the nice thing about Red Heart, if you can get past the scratchiness when you work on it, boy, that blanket is so soft. That Christmas ripple, it is so nice and soft, and it turned out it's really pretty and vibrant and festive. And I kind of want to make another one and send two of them off to the care center. It's where I'm going to send it is Saber Healthcare Group, one of their facilities. And oh, I made good progress on the camouflage blanket as well for the veterans. I'll probably get that one finished over Thanksgiving, but that one's looking really cool too. I was working on that on the live. Boy, those modern ripples that Amanda crochets pattern, it sure works up fast. It's really fun and nice and easy. And doing the lap blankets for the wheelchairs, because they're not as big. I feel like well, it takes me 7 hours to do one if I just sit down and crochet, um, just my average speed, not anything like I'm trying to break any records. Just like I'm crocheting double crochets right now, that's kind of my normal speed. And if I do the modern ripple, it will take me 7 hours to finish one of those blankets. So I feel like that's a good time frame. Um, it's so fast. What's so fast? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The blanket. Macy said one of my favorites due to the feel of it and the speed. Yeah, it's a great little blanket, the Modern Ripple. I really enjoy it. It's definitely one I'll remake over and over again. Sometimes I don't want to think about stitches, right? Like today, I'm having to kind of think about counting, and I'm doing different stitches. And some days I don't feel like doing that. Some days after work, I'm tired. I just want to sit there and do double crochets. So it's like whatever. I don't want anything like super complicated. BB said, these colors are beautiful. Yeah, this is Caron Simply Soft. If you're just hopping on, this is the colorway Orchid. The green is called Sage, and then of course white, and the pink that we did before. This is just soft pink. I believe this green was mint and white, but you can see the difference with the lavender versus the pink. Either one is both really pretty, but this is Caron Simply Soft that I'm using today. And I know a lot of places have the Caron Simply Soft on sale right now, but I'm pretty good on my stock, so I didn't get any. Um, and I bought a lot of the Red Heart jumbos on the sale that everybody's having. Joanne's having sales, and so anyhow, I got a bunch of the jumbos. That way, I can work on my donation blankets. But the Red Heart, it sure washes up nice and soft. It really gets rid of all that sizing, and I was really pleased with the red, white, and green one. I thought it turned out really nice when I washed it up, and I'm really pleased with it. Like I said, I want to make another one of those for Christmas, but maybe I'll do a different pattern for the Christmas blanket rather than the ripple. We'll see. I don't know. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. Um, Queen 530 said, yes, Joanne's and Mary Maxim have Caron Simply Soft. Um, I like Caron Simply Soft. I think it's a really nice yarn. I like it for baby blankets. It is 100% acrylic and it is machine washable and dryable. So I feel like that's a plus for baby blankets. You definitely want something that's machine wash and dry. So here we are. We're coming up at the end here. I'm going to put a slip stitch into this first stitch that we did here. And then I'm going to do another slip stitch into the corner. And let me draw that up a little bit. We're going to look at our sample and see where we go from here. So there's kind of where we're at with our little baby blanket. Um, so we just did this row of double crochets right here. Now you can see it's kind of popping forward, and the reason why is because we're going to do this pink row in the orchid color, but this is a row of back post half doubles, and when you do that, you can see it puts the pink underneath, it puts the pink on top, and then it makes this little white bar pop forward. So that's what we're going to start next, and I'm going to snip off here. And we're going to fire up the orchid color, which is just so pretty, pretty, pretty. Where'd my hook go? There we go. Okay, now one of the things I like to do when I'm doing these square blankets, I just finished in this corner here. What I like to do is rather than restart in this corner, I'm going to turn my work and pick a different corner to start in. I'm going to pick this corner here. What that does is when you're working in the round, which is what this is called, this is working in the round, we're going around and around and around. It helps to keep your blanket square. If you always go into the same corner right here, it kind of will get a little cockeye. So you definitely want to keep it turned. Keep rotating your work whenever you have an opportunity to turn. Okay, I'm going to start with a slip stitch on my hook. And now into this corner, we're going to do, what did I do? A half double, chain two, half double. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to start with a standing half double. The way I do that is I hold the tail here with my thumb and my pointer finger. I wrap my yarn around. I go down into the hole. I transfer the job of holding the tail to Mr. Thumb here. And then I draw up a loop, I yarn over and pull through two. Chain two, that is our standing half double. Now I'm going to put another half double into that space. If you don't know how to do a standing crochet, you could just do a chain of two there. It doesn't matter. Either way is totally fine. Now I'm going to start working back post half doubles around these double crochets that we just did. So if you're a new crocheter, normally you would put your hook under these two bars and you would work your stitch under those. When you're doing a back post, we're going to be working around the post of the stitch, not the top. So this is also called the legs of the stitch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my yarn around. I put my work forward. I put my hook underneath the post, grab a loop, pull it up, and then I yarn over and pull through all three. So instead of it being here on the top, you can see it's around the post, and that's what gives it that delicious little color underneath and a little burst up on top. So it works really nice. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Wrap my yarn around, put my work forward, move to the next stitch, slide my hook underneath the post, grab a loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. And I'm just going to keep moving along, working these the whole way down. Put my work forward, slide my hook underneath, grab that loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. This is a back post half double crochet. And that's what's just going to make this little white pop out here. You can kind of see it there starting to form. Gives it a really nice texture, kind of gives it a definition, and that's what gives it these kind of rows here that you can see. So we're going to keep working this the whole way along. Again, back post half double. Wrap my yarn around, put my work forward, slide my hook underneath the post, grab that loop, pull it up, yarn over, pull through all three. And as you get more practice with these, they'll come a little faster and you'll be able to work your way along. Now, one of the things that I figured out makes it a little easier for me. When I wrap my yarn, you'll see me, I hold my yarn here, this so it doesn't slide around. I control it with this thumb as I put it forward. And so I pull this thumb back, and that frees up all of my hook to go underneath the post, and then I let it go, yarn over, and pull through all three. So it's just kind of a habit now that I pull that back. But I found that it helps me to keep my loops clear of the point of my hook. Before, like if I just go down in, it still works. But I just feel like it kind of slides down. See how it slides down on my hook? So when I was first learning, that was kind of a problem for me. It created kind of a little a challenge. So then I started holding it. But however you can get it underneath those posts is perfect. Just kind of takes some practice. Sizing isn't a term you hear a lot. It's like starch. That's what Annabelle said. So a lot of times, what we're talking about when you buy yarn at the store, some manufacturers put sizing in their yarn. And so when you feel Red Heart Super Saver, you know how it feels rough? Some of them feel rougher than others. And what they do is they put sizing in the yarn. And the sizing, like Anvil said, um, it makes it feel rough, but it's like the starch is around the fibers of the yarn. So it helps it to kind of keep and hold its shape. And the thing is, it's like when you buy a men's shirt at the store, right? I'm thinking like a white dress shirt, right? Or they've got colored dress shirts, long sleeve. When I was married before, gosh, I was in my 20s, and my husband, he used to wear some of those white dress shirts for work with a tie, and it feels like those days are long gone. But um, I would get the white shirts at the store, and they came, and they were all kind of firm and rigid almost. The cotton was very kind of stiff, right? And then you'd throw it in your washing machine, and all of that starch, or they call it sizing, would come out in the wash, and it would soften up. And for a men's dress shirt, you wanted it to be kind of crisp and um, starched. And so I would literally get my can of spray starch with my ironing board, and I spray that shirt, and I would press it, and that would get the shape of the shirt back, and make it nice and starched and pressed. And so that's what is basically going on with your yarn. They put sizing in the yarn, and not all of the yarns have a whole lot of it. Okay, like this Caron Simply Soft that I'm doing today, I don't consider this yarn to have a lot of sizing in it. It's very soft when I work with it on my hands, but yarns like the Red Heart Super Saver have a lot of sizing in them. and yarns like the Burnett baby softy cotton that I use, they're a little stiffer, they're more rigid because they have the sizing. And so when you take a red heart blanket like the Christmas one that I made and you put it in the washing machine, all of that sizing comes out in the wash, and then your blankets are really nice and soft. So it's only there to keep the yarn kind of more like easier to use. It keeps all the fibers together and stuff. And so that's what sizing is. But a lot of times those yarns that are kind of rough in the store, it is just sizing and it'll all come out. So that Christmas blanket that I made, it was, the green was pretty rough. The red was pretty scratchy as well. It's not anymore. It is completely nice and soft, and you want to snuggle it. You really do, because all that sizing is gone. And so Amy said you can buy spray starch or spray sizing. Yep, you absolutely can. Mama Wheeler just bought some spray starch. She's working on that little pillow that's the elephant, and it is kind of a cotton that she's doing. It's like kind of got an eyelet lace on it, and when she washed it, it kind of got really soft and like pliable, which is fine while she's working with the embroidery because she's using a hoop for some of the big parts, but a lot of the sizing, the starch is gone from the little pillow, and so she wants it before she gifts it a little crisper. And so she actually got some starch the other day at the store, some spray starch, and um, she's going to put some starch into her little pillow to kind of crisp it back up and make it have a little more definition. So there are times where you want the starch, um, but yeah, Lieutenant Murph said, do you dry in the dryer or air dry? So I go by whatever the package instructions are. And for the Red Heart yarns, which is what I'm using for my donation blankets, if you're new to crochet, you go by what the label says here. And so um, it tells you the size hook to use, the I9. And then it says here, these little symbols mean something. So it says, here's the wash. It says 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. And then it says, this is the dryer, and it's not crossed out. It says, do not iron, and I believe that's bleach, but I don't know for sure. But here it says machine wash and dry, see reverse. And so it'll give you more instructions. But I look here for the temperature. I did a warm wash. I don't know that 104 is, I mean, maybe it's a cold wash, but I did warm on mine. And so even this pink yarn, it's kind of rough, when you get it at the store. This is what I'm using, this ombre. But once I wash this, it'll be nice and soft before I gift it. And so it depends on if I don't wash all of mine. I wash some of them. And what I'll do before I gift the blankets for the wheelchairs, I wash all of those because the Red Heart is so scratchy that I want to get all that sizing out of them. But like this lavender blanket, this yarn is so soft, I won't wash this before I gift it. Now, what I will do is I will put a damp towel. I'll get a bath towel and I'll kind of get it wet, not soaking wet, but damp, wet. And I'll put a dryer sheet with the wet towel with this blanket into the dryer, and I'll tumble it low and just kind of do it that way. A lot of times with some of the baby blankets, if you use a wet towel like that, and it'll actually take out the sizing as well. So you don't actually have to do a full wash on it. You can actually do just the dryer, and that'll help to take out some of the sizing. But the yarns like Red Heart Super Saver, I always wash them. So yeah, Anvil said, I wash all of mine because I have an inside kitty, don't want allergies. So I have a dog, but I don't have a cat or anything. And so sometimes, like I said, I'll just tumble dry it. But look at that purple coming through, guys. Can you see it? How pretty that is? Wow, I just love this purple. When I was going to redo another one, that I had this orchid color yarn in my stash, and I thought that is so pretty. Let's make a rosebud blanket with it. And then on Thursday, I was like, I don't know if there's purple rosebuds like this, but there is now. And somebody said that there are purple roses like this. So I thought, oh, that's really cool. It just looks so pretty. It's a really fun color. Um, I was going to mention too, Caron Simply Soft sometimes does split. So as I'm working on some of these stitches, if you see me backing up, it is pretty together, but these fibers, see how there's the four strands and how I can easily separate them? When you're doing the red heart, that's the other reason as we're talking about sizing. So see how these fibers are very together and tight and you can't really like separate them? Like you can, but I have to really kind of work at it to get those fibers apart. That is why they put the sizing so that it keeps the yarn from splitting on you. You can see the difference in how soft this yarn is and how those fibers just pull apart. And so that's the other reason, the biggest reason of why they do the sizing in like the red heart is to keep those strands together. So sometimes as I'm grabbing this and pulling it through, I'll get like this, and they call that splitting. See how my hook will split it. So that sometimes happens with the Caron Simply Soft. Now I've had other people mention that inline hooks also create splitting for them. And so it could be a thing of the hook as well, but I think it's a combination of the two of them. And so I'm just always watching as I'm pulling up my loops to make sure it's not puckering up. If it splits, you'll see this kind of get malformed. If I split one, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And so I just kind of rewind that stitch and do it over. I don't split a lot, but I have to be paying attention and really watching what I'm doing when I work with this yarn. Whereas the Red Heart Super Saver, because it does have all that sizing, it it doesn't do that. The Red Heart Super Saver, it's incredibly rare that you would split your yarn. But some of the other yarns, like Hobie yarns and stuff, they just don't have all that sizing stuff in them. So, it's kind of just the nature of the yarn. Yeah, I've heard of people washing full skeins of yarn. And Macy said most people say you have to use a stocking and it's a whole mess, apparently, like a delicates bag. And so, there's been times where I've been tempted to buy yarn at thrift stores and stuff, but most of the time there's not enough of it to do a project like I'm going to do. I do mostly blankets. So it's not like I'm doing, hats and that kind of stuff where you only need like a skein. But I have been tempted sometimes, and sometimes they have the thrift store smell. You know, guys know what I'm talking about. And so a lot of times people will, pick up yarn at thrift stores and then they want to wash it and they'll put it in the washing machine in like a pantyhose. There's a stitch I just split. Okay. See how, as I'm holding this, see that how this loop poofed up here on the back side? That's how I know I've split a stitch, and you'll see me pull those out and then I just redo it. So I pull it back out straight and then just redo the whole stitch. And then see how it's smooth coming out. So that's what I'm watching for splitting stitches. Just so you guys, if you guys are curious. Uh, Andrew said, I have 4 trash bags full I've been washing. It's not bad with the bags. I've not tried it. I've not tried it. I if it has a funky smell, I won't buy it. And I used to thrift a lot in Arizona when I lived there. I used to love to go to Goodwill and St. Vincent's and a lot of the thrift stores that we had around. I could always find really good stuff there. Um, since I have moved to Alabama, it could just be the area that I'm in, but we don't have very good thrift stores. We have some, they're church thrift stores. There's a Goodwill that's down in Scottsboro, but it's kind of like a little hole in the wall. It's not a very good store. And I really feel like people just don't give their stuff away here. It's not, uh, Arizona, it felt very disposable. People would cycle through things. I think part of it could be we're definitely in a lower income area where I'm at. And I think people, um, I think a lot of it probably gets donated within church groups. And I think there's a lot of hand me downs and stuff versus just people donating like to other like Goodwills and thrift stores. I think it ends up in the church donation a lot. And so the quality of the stuff at the thrift stores, I haven't been that impressed. And I haven't really found in Arizona, I used to find good deals. Down in Florida, Mama Wheeler, she found all that yarn for me. And that stuff was all sealed in the vacuum bags, and it didn't have any smell on it at all. It's like it was right out of somebody's stash, but it was all in those clear vacuum like storage bags, and they're perfect. Um, so the things that Mama Wheeler finds in Florida are a lot better than the finds here in Alabama. Um, we don't have a lot of antique stores here. There are a few kind of in our area, but we just don't have kind of those types of stores here like we had in Arizona. So it's definitely different here. But that's okay. I think it's good that people use up their stuff, right? Or they gift it and do hand me downs. I feel like we're not such a disposable society here in this little country town that I'm in. You just don't see it. Now, maybe if I was to go down to like Birmingham, Huntsville has some thrift stores and stuff that we've been to, but even there, I wasn't very impressed with the stuff. So I'm just going to join with a slip stitch right into my corner. And we are done with the purple now. So I'm going to snip off the purple. There used to be a couple pretty good big thrift stores down in Roebuck, Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, I don't get down to the Birmingham area, but Birmingham's a much bigger city than what I'm in. So I think the bigger population is maybe what drives some of that. So here we're very small. We only have like 5,000 people in my little town. So there you can see we finished up the purple. You can see it from underneath all of the little post work, and there's what it looks like up on top. So pretty slick, right? I just love it. Okay, so now we finished up this pink with this purple, and we're going to move to the next stitch here. And in this is basically this repeat, okay? We've already done one full repeat. This is a repeat right here. We've already done that. So we're going to go ahead and start another repeat. I think I still have time. It's almost 8, so I have another half hour to work here. So this next stitch you see here, we have 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Then it's a very easy row of double crochets the whole way around. But one thing you'll notice with this pink work here, see how there's this line right here? That is the front loop of the stitch. So instead of going underneath both these bars of the stitches, we're going to work in the back loop only. So if you're new to crochet, this loop that faces you is called the front loop. The one that's away from you, this guy, is the back loop. And if we turn the work, you can see there's another loop here that's kind of like a side loop. And when I work my back loop double crochets, I actually work under these 2 bars. And I'm going to show you this as I'm working along. You don't have to. Traditionally, a back loop, working in the back loop is just under this one here. But I'm kind of show you guys how this works up. So let's get my crochet hook, and let's get this white back on our hook. I'm going to start with a single slip stitch right on the hook. That's the wrong hook. Where did I put my hook? Here's my hook. That one was too small. I'm using a size H8 hook this morning, and that's what the yarn calls for. So I have my slip stitch. Now again, I finished here in this corner, and I'm going to just turn my work again, and I'm going to pick a different corner to work in. And I'm working in this purple corner here. I wrap my yarn around, and I'm holding the tail here, and I pull this tail forward, and then I grab the loop and pull it up. and I work a standing double crochet. If you don't hold this tail when you work this, it will spin off. So here, let me do this one more time, maybe a little slower so you guys can see it. Some of you guys already know how to do this, but it's a fun little stitch to have in your, so with the tail here, I hold it with my thumb and my pointer finger, and I wrap my yarn around. If you don't hold this tail, this spins off. Okay, so somehow you need to secure this tail from spinning. And this is how I do it. Okay, then I put my hook down into my work, and then I turn this and I hold the tail now with this thumb. That way I can complete my double crochet. So I pull through two and pull through two. So this is an alternate to doing a chain of three up. And I like to start my new rounds with this. Then I'm going to do another double crochet, chain two, and then I'm going to do two more double crochets. So this is our corner. Two double crochets, chain two, two double crochets. Now, when you're first doing crochet, this is the legs of the stitch here. The loops are always to the right of your post, okay? So a lot of new crocheters will mistake and miss this stitch thinking that this is their first one, but it's always to the right. Sometimes this gets hidden in your corner, so you saw how I kind of pulled it out. You got to reveal that. And I'm going to go into this, into the back loop only. So I skip this front loop and I go under the back and I'm doing a double crochet. And I'm going to do this the whole way down. So instead, I'm going to skip this front loop and I'm going to go under just this one in the back, okay, and work a double crochet. Now, do you see how this pulls up like this? If I do this the whole way down, I don't like how that pulls up, okay? And this is, it'll kind of, if you pull your work, they'll kind of suck back down in. I don't like how that it doesn't feel secure. It doesn't feel like stable only going under one loop. So I will do it a little different. So I wrap my yarn around. I go under the back loop, but see this one that's hiding back here? I go under that dude as well. So now I have under two loops again, and I do my double crochets. That helps keep that a little more secure. Move to the next stitch again, yarn over. Instead of going under just this one, I go under both those. And you'll get the feel for this as you're doing it. But it helps keep those stitches a little closer to the work and just a little more snug. So see how those are not pulling way up now? If I do another one just under the back loop, see the difference? That's pretty substantial if you're moving along. Like I said, it'll eventually like suck back down in. I just like it to be a little more secure. So it's totally your call. It's just a little trick if you want to do these into the back loop by adding that third back loop back there. And sometimes a pattern will have you actually work into that very back stitch. So again, if I turn my work forward, I'm working under this one, and this one right here is what I'm working under. You can see them there. So I just work under those two, and I just kind of go straight down with my hook, and it'll pick up both those, and you can just move yourself along. But all I'm doing right now is a double crochet in the back loop only. So when you do that, see how it's leaving this really cool bar of purple, because that is our front loop that's left revealed there. So working into the back loop, and I'm working under the third bar. I don't know what that stitch is called. Does anybody know what that stitch is called? That third loop that hides back there. I don't know what the technical name for it is. So again, here's the front loop, here's the back loop. If I turn it sideways, I'm working also under these loops right here. And like I said, I don't know what that loop is called. I call it the third loop, but I don't know what the technical name for it is. I just feel like it makes my work a little more secure, so I'm not under only one strand of work of yarn. I'm still going under two strands of yarn. So I really like that. And I'm just going to work this double crochet the whole way around. And I really like how it leaves that extra little bar of texture. So we have one that's down below. And this will kind of, once we start kind of pulling on this, it'll kind of get all into shape there. Thank you for the or the heart. Very cool. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. I see a lot of new followers hopping on. For those that don't know me, my name is April, and I'm just a hobby crocheter. I come on TikTok and YouTube every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7 Central, and I go till 8:30. At which time I hop off and I go do my real job at 9. And I just kind of show the different patterns that I'm working on and some of my little projects. And I crochet with all my friends here. We have a fabulous group of folks that chat back and forth and share their projects. We also have a Discord channel. So if you want to go over onto the link tree, you can see there's a link there for the Discord, and hopefully that is working this morning. But a lot of us are, and for those that don't know, a Discord is an online chat server. It's used a lot for online gaming, but we have a crochet one. That way we can go on there and share pictures and ask questions. If you have something that you are struggling with, we have a fabulous group, not just me, but everybody can kind of help. And Macy, who you see on the chat this morning. I don't know if Macy's still here, but Macy, give a little wave. Macy helps to moderate our Discord. And so, anyhow, she helps us out with that. And of course, over on TikTok, we have two moderators. We have Gen X and also Anvil help to moderate, and they keep me on task here and help answer questions so that I can talk about crocheting and help answer questions. So uh, so uh, Gigia, I'm not sure how to say your name. I apologize if I messed that up. We started this blanket last week, so I started working on this on Thursday, and it's a little watered up. I've been working on it in my lap here, but we did all of this, and you can find this on YouTube. My handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres, just like my TikTok, and you can go back and rewatch that video. Now, I am live on both YouTube and on TikTok this morning, so everything we're working on today will be part two, and you'll be able to find that as well. Now, they typically take about between 24 and 48 hours for processing, so it does take a little bit of time, but they will eventually all be on there. I would like to do a full tutorial at some point. I just have not had an opportunity. This is a really busy time of year for me with my real job. And by the time I'm done with work, guys, I am just exhausted. So I did manage over the weekend to get some of my projects photographed. So I did put out a couple of videos over on TikTok. And hopefully I'll have some more here soon, but I would at some point like to have an official like tutorial of this. It's just finding the time, and I'm sure you guys all understand. Most people don't have the luxury of being a full-time crocheter where they're just making content. I'm not like Mikey or Crystal, where this is my job. Like I have a job. So crochet is just my hobby, but I do try to put out as much as I can. It just takes me a little longer. And so anyhow, I hope you all understand. But yes, over on YouTube, you can find how we started this blanket on Thursday. And then in the next couple days, we'll have this video as well as you continue on. But basically, you have your very center here. This is the repeat. So if we look at the pink version, you can see here's the repeat and repeat and repeat. So once you get this very center, then you're just able to keep stacking on top of each other, and it just is very easy. So we're right here. We just finished this pink, which is the purple. Now I'm doing this double crochet. This is single crochets. Then we have the V-stitch. Now there is on TikTok a tutorial of this green V-stitch along with the rosebud, along with this stitch behind the rosebuds. So there is a video for that already. And then after this, that's a half double, cross doubles, and then here we are back to the double crochet and then the back post like we just did this morning. So it is a very easy repeat. I like repeating patterns just because it makes it easier for me. I don't want to have to think about it. After I get going with this, I don't have to like keep referring to a blanket like this or a pattern. I just look here. Okay, here's my double crochet. Here's my purple. There's my purple. Double crochet. Now I'm going to do the double crochet. Here's my single crochet. Next one will be a single crochet. So I can just sit here in my chair and crochet and refer back to the row below. Those are my favorite type of patterns to work on. Very easy. I don't want to have to be picking up a paper and referring to it. I just want to, a lot of times I don't want to think about it, right? I think you guys are probably all the same way. Sometimes we just need to crochet, and I listen to my audiobook, and I just finished all of the series. I don't know if I can say it, but it's Plains of Passage and the Cave Bear series. I don't think I can say that other word on TikTok. It'll get flagged. But anyhow, I just finished. There was 5 books in that series. My mom read that series when I was a kid, and my dad read it too. And I just finished all of those. So it's kind of an older series, but it's by Jean M. All. I finished that. And I just started a new one by Kristen Hanna. And I am really enjoying that. It's the I already did the women. I finished that one a while ago. I finished that before I started the Cave Bear series, and now I'm reading. Is it the Great Outdoors or it? Anyhow, they're in Alaska, and I don't know. Is Mama Wheeler still on here? Mom, are you on? I was going to tell you I started listening to this book, and um, they are in Homer. They're right outside Homer. So Mama Wheeler and Papa Wheeler used to have a cabin in Alaska. They were in Homer, and the place that this whole book is set is in the Homer area, and very cool. I'm excited. So I started listening to it yesterday. I listened to it for about half an hour this morning. I was crocheting before I got on the live. But you guys are really gonna like that book. It's um, Holly said you need to look into Nightingale by Kristen. I swear everything that Kristen Hanna did is she's just incredible. What a great author. I really am enjoying it, and so for it to be, and I've been to Homer. I Papa Wheeler one time for Mama Wheeler's birthday. They were always there in the summer, and for her birthday present, he flew me from Arizona to Alaska to come see my mom. And I think I was there for like 3 or 4 days. And they took me out. Of course, we went out on the spit on Homer, and there's I can't remember what the bar is called there, but they talk about it in the book. Mom knows what the book what the bar is there. It's got the dollar bills all over it, and it's a very famous bar. And Homer, for those that don't know, Homer, Alaska is very much a fishing village, and we went out halibut fishing. I love to fish. I don't think we went salmon fishing, but my brother, he used to go up there and go salmon fishing. He would visit my mom and stay a couple weeks and salmon fish. And of course, Mama and Papa Wheeler have done salmon fishing and halibut and stuff. And they had a cute little cabin. They had a moose that would come in every year, and she always had babies. One year she had twins, so they had 2 baby moose with Mama there, right there at their cabin. And there's a show that used to be on. I don't think it's on anymore, but the Kilchers, Jane. I just love Jane. And Mama Wheeler was down the road from the Kilchers. And so, anyhow, the other thing is, if any of you guys watch I like all of the gold mining shows, and there's one, Bering Sea Gold. One of the gals on there is Emily. Emily's parents were Mama Wheeler and Papa Wheeler's next door neighbors. So, Mom and Papa Wheeler knew Emily when she was a little girl, and it's kind of cool. And now, of course, she's on TV and super famous and all of that. But that's kind of the um, that's always the fun thing about Homer. And Mama Wheeler said, and an eagle nest on our property too. Yeah, it was just a really cool thing. So when I started this book yesterday, I was like, oh, I got to tell mom. We had already had our Sunday phone call. I started listening after, and I was going to text you last night, but then I don't know, time just got away from me. So anyhow, I'll have to. You guys are going to have to read this book because I'm really enjoying it so far. And it's set in the 70s, I believe. I was born in 75. I think the book, if I'm not mistaken, I think when I first started, they were talking about 1974. So it was definitely in the era when I was a little kid and growing up. So I'm curious to see how the whole book turns out. So yeah, I love. Susie says I love all those shows. I do too. I'm. I really like. What is it called where they're like the live? Um, I can't think of what it's called. There's a whole name for those shows. Anyhow, my platform I use Audible. I use Audible for my books. And so anyhow, back to crochet, guys. Here, you can kind of see how that double crochet is really starting to take place. We've got our beautiful row of texture here. In adding this row of double crochets, it kind of brings everything back nice and flat. And so when you have these rows of texture, if you're designing projects, it's important to get these stretches where you have kind of flat spaces. Okay. So here again, into the corner, we're going to do two double crochets, chain two, and then two double crochets. And again, I'm just working into the back loop and I'm doing double crochets the entire way down. Now, the only difference is this, if you're new to crochet and you're just hopping on, I've kind of talked about this a little bit, but this is the front loop. The one that faces you is the front loop. The one that's away from you is the back loop. And I'm going also into the third loop. So if you turn your work forward to the side, see how there's this loop here as well? It kind of looks like a sideways V again. So instead of going just under this back loop, I'm going under both of those. And I'll show you guys again the difference that this makes as you're working into the back loop. If you have not tried this, I encourage you all to give it a try. I think you'll really like how it turns out. And so as I'm working along here, I am going under both bars. See how these sit nice and flat? And if I turn my work, you can see how it's kind of snugging up against those two. If I go into the back loop only, which is traditionally what you do, so this is the front loop facing you, this one here is the back loop. I yarn over, I go under that stitch, and I do my double crochet. And I move along doing those stitches. The part I don't like when I'm doing this, do you see how these are pulling up and making it big and loopy? Now, if I pull my work back, it'll kind of snug those back in. But to me, it just doesn't feel very secure. See how these, when I pull on them, they don't really pull up like that. See the difference? And when we look at it from the back, here's that stitch that is, I'm not going under in these. But you can see here, I scooped it up. So that is the little stitch I'm going underneath. And it just helps really make it so that you don't get these big bowing effects. So if you're doing a uh, under the back loop, so I grab this is the back loop, that's that third loop there, and then I go under both. If you turn your work, you can really see those two stitches. And so now I'm going under two bars instead of one again, and it just makes it that much more firmed up and it makes your project a little more even and consistent. And just, I feel a little more sturdy. But like I said, you don't have to. It's just one of April's little tips that I've picked up along the way. And because we're going in the back loop, we have this really fun line of purple that's left behind, adding more, again, more texture. But that is the front loop that we're leaving behind. So it's just adding a little bit of added texture. Um, Annika said, the Discord is failing to start for me. I don't know what is going on with that link. I tried to update the link so that it never expires. And I swear when I did that, it just stopped working altogether. So Annika, if you want to check back, I will update the link again. I was trying to make it so that I never have to update it because if you do it one way, it expires like in a week. If you do it a different way, you can make it so that it never expires. Is anybody else able to get to the Discord link this morning on the link tree? Can somebody test it for me since I'm crocheting here and see if it's working? It's that thing has been very finicky. But the crochet server is at Wheeler 8 Acres. If you're able to, I don't know if you're able to search for a server or if you have to have an invite. The Discord thing is kind of new to me. Hey, Shauna, look at all those turkeys. Gobble, gobble, gobble. I added turkey stickers to all of the subscribers. So I gotta get festive. I hope everybody's ready for Thanksgiving week. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I'm ready for Thanksgiving, but I'm ready for 2 days off of work. That's what I'm ready for. I need a break. And my husband doesn't have to work on Friday either. So we're both, a lot of times my husband will have to work the day after. He is kind of in the construction industry and sometimes they don't take off. So, yeah, I'm super excited. We're going to do our Thanksgiving on Saturday. I'm going to smoke a turkey. I got an 18 pounder and I got it thawing in the fridge and I'm going to do some stuffing and maybe some sweet potatoes and definitely some mashed potatoes. And a lot of times I'll do homemade rolls, but I don't know if I'm going to be that ambitious this year. So we'll see. So now I'm going to join with a slip stitch into these stitches that I started out with. So just a little slip stitch. I'm back to the corner here. Another slip stitch, and there we are back in the corner. So here's where we're at now this morning. So if you're just hopping on, this is the Rosebud baby blanket. We started this last week on the live. So we started here and worked our way out. Today we've done, what have we done? This much here this morning. So this is the live replay is on YouTube if you want to go back and see how we started this. But we're working on these little rosebuds, and I don't think I'm going to get to more rosebuds today. But let's see. So this is a repeating pattern. So I just finished this right here. Here's our purple. Here's our purple. Here's our double crochet. Here's our double crochet. Here now we have a single crochet. So I'm going to try to work quickly through these single crochets and let's see if we can get to that green. It's going to be next. So into the corner here, for the single crochet row, I do a single crochet, chain two, single crochet. And now I'm just going to work a single crochet stitch the entire way around. So we're just kind of putting some stability back in this. We're getting set up for the green of the stems. That'll be next. So this little V stitch is what's on deck. So we'll keep moving on this and work our way around. So we'll just keep, let's see, nothing works for me here unless I open an external browser. Okay. Maybe that's why it's not working is because when I set it up, I set it up on my computer, not on my phone. So maybe what I need to do is set it up from my phone so that it thinks it's a mobile link. And maybe that is what I need to do. I'll try that after the live, but thank you, Gen X, for testing that. I really appreciate it. And guys, if you want to get on the Discord, just give me a follow and then you can come back and check for the link again. I know we have 100 or so people over there on the Discord. It's a fun group. Like I said, yesterday we were chatting about Thanksgiving, me and Lefty Crochet. I don't know if Lefty's on here this morning, but man, she got me hungry. That girl got me hungry. She was talking about this Brussels sprout casserole that she does, and she shared the recipe. And I'm saving that recipe because boy, that looks yummy. And then she was talking about this pumpkin mousse that she does. And I shared with her Mama Wheeler's cranberry salad that she likes to make. We always made that when I was a kid, and I put that recipe on there. I don't know if I'm going to do the cranberry salad this year, but it's a cold salad. It's like it has Jello in it though, so if you guys don't eat gelatin, that could be a problem. But anyhow, it's like a cold fruit salad that you use with like a cherry or a strawberry Jello. It's really good with fresh cranberries and oranges and apples. So anyhow, it's yummy. And so we were thinking, yeah, she got me all excited about Thanksgiving and thinking about sides and green bean casserole. What is your guys' favorite For Thanksgiving, is there anybody who doesn't like turkey? Turkey is not really my favorite thing in the whole world. We've been known to, throw some steaks on the grill before, but I do like smoked turkeys. So, in my family, my husband is not really this smoker. Normally, the smoking is kind of the guy's job, but in our family, April is the smoker queen. And so I will, throw on a brisket. We try to get the small briskets. I don't get it very often. And I've done pork loin, and I like to get a Boston butt, and I'll put that in there. Yeah, for Thanksgiving, I will smoke a turkey. So I got an 18-pounder, and I'm going to be doing the smoking, but like, do you guys have a favorite side? Like, what's your favorite side? Mama Wheeler says she loves the dressing and stuffing. So, my dad and mom used to make the stuffing. I learned my stuffing from them. So, I get the bakery bread, and it works better if it's kind of stale. And so I get like a toasting loaf, like a toasting bread, and I kind of let the bread dry out a little bit, and then I slice it into cubes. And then the way that we always did ours growing up, it's definitely not healthy, but we would cut up celery and onion, and then we'd take a stick of butter and put the butter in the pan, and we would saute those celeries and onions with poultry seasoning, a large amount of poultry seasoning in that butter, and then we'd hit it with a little chicken stock and kind of thin it out, and then I would put layer that over the bread cubes that I made. And anyhow, if you kind of get the bread like toasty, like I just would let it kind of, I cut it up in the morning usually, and I would just like let it sit out, or I'd pop it in the oven a little bit and just kind of let it dry out a little bit. So that way, by the time I was ready to do it, and then cover it with foil and bake that. And then I would pop that foil off and let it crisp up a little bit. And that's the way we did our stuffing. And I don't remember ever putting it in the turkey. That's not something we do. And of course, with smoking it, it just gets all soggy, and I don't like soggy stuffing. I like it to be soft, but I like it to have a little crisp to it. So anyhow, I think stuffing is my hands down favorite. I love that. But of course, I like the mashed taters and gravy, and I always do up some turkey gravy. And I have to be careful with the drippings, because once I started, um, I brine my turkey so it stays a little more moist in the smoker, and you brine it in like a salt water. And I had one year my drippings for my gravy, it was too salty. So I have to be careful not to use too much of the drippings. I've learned the hard way. But boy, some good turkey gravy. Macy said we are brining ours this year. Yeah, and some pumpkin pie. Pecan pie I get more around Christmas, and I don't make pies, guys. I visit the Wally World, and we eat the Wally World pumpkin pie, and we always have pumpkin pie long before Thanksgiving hits. Okay, I'm to the corner, so I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the corner here, and we're done with our white. We're going to be changing to green, so I'm going to snip off. Uh, I have to find a good brine for our turkey. I don't know which one I use. Um, I just kind of, I want to, is it Chef John's? That kind of rings a bell with me, but don't quote me. Okay, so here we are, flatten out our little square. It's been wadded up in my hot little hands. So here's where we are right now. So we've just added this row of single crochets, and now we're ready to start working on these V stitches. So in the corner here, I did 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets. Now on this first row of these V stitches, when I did my pink blanket, I did 5 rosebuds, and I felt like it was too cramped up. So if you look at this, see how it's kind of buckling up a little bit? I felt like there was just too many. And so with this new version, you can see here, I only did 4 rosebuds. Now there is a difference if you guys are looking at this. Um, this blanket, this pink one, I used a size G6 hook. And you can see it's a little tighter because I used a smaller hook. I didn't care for that look. And so on this next one, I'm using a size H8 hook, which is what the pattern calls for. And so I feel like it's a little looser. It's not so stiff. I feel like it's going to lay a lot flatter and nicer. So keep that in mind as you guys are working on this. So let's get our green on the hook here. If I can find my green. Now this color is Sage, if you guys are interested. The yarn I'm working with today is Caron Simply Soft. So into this corner here, I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. So again, I hold my tail here, this is the tail, between my thumb and my pointer finger. I wrap my yarn around, go down into the corner. Now I bring this up and transfer the tail holding to this thumb here so I can finish my double crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. If you do not secure this tail, it will spin off on you, so be very cautious. Another double crochet, chain 2, and now we need 2 more double crochets. So this is our corner. Now this is our first stitch out here. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, into the third, I'm going to place a double crochet, chain 1. Now back into this exact same space, I'm going to place another double crochet. So this is like a V stitch, okay? Skip 2 into the third, double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet right back into that same space. So this round works very quickly, but what we're doing is we're setting ourselves up for the little stems on our rosebuds are going to go here in the middle. You can see we've come back and add them. So that's what I'm doing. Skip 2 into the third, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet right back in the same space. So V stitches are super easy and they move rather quickly. So I'm just going to kind of work through these and hopefully we can get to some rosebuds here. How am I doing on time? Wow, 22,000 likes this morning on TikTok. You guys are tapping away. Thank you so much, everybody, for tapping your screens this morning on this fun Thanksgiving themed week. Although I'm doing rosebuds, which doesn't feel very Thanksgiving-ish, but hey, there's still baby blankets that need to be made. So we can't do all Thanksgiving themes, but I did do kind of a Thanksgiving blanket. You guys remember me working on the mosaic granny for the county fair. So we are festive here, and I'm going to start decorating for Christmas on Thursday. So, or not Thursday, Friday. Traditionally in our house, when Mama Wheeler and when I was growing up as a kid, we would have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then Mama Wheeler would get my brother up in the attic, and he would get down the Christmas decorations. Ooh, that is fun. Look at that. Very cool. Thank you, Caroline. What a fun gift. Um, so anyhow, we'd get my brother up in the attic and he would get down the Christmas decorations and we would um, decorate for Christmas on the Friday after Thanksgiving. And last year I went on a cruise with Mama Wheeler and my sister. And I didn't decorate at all for Christmas last year. It kind of, the timing just got me messed up because we went, I think the first week of December, we were on the cruise. And by the time I got back, I had I it just I didn't do it. I was feeling too stressed out about getting everything. So I'm really looking forward to decorating for Christmas this year. So again, just working on these V stitches, guys, as we work our way around. Here's our corner: 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and for the V stitch, again, I'm skipping 2 into the third, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet right into the same space. And this is where our little rosebud's going to be. So just keep skipping 2 and into the 3rd is where you place your next one. And this is another opportunity, guys, as you're working on this stitch. We've done a lot of rows of these stitches. Again, this is kind of a checkpoint. So as I get these worked around, I'm going to come back and count these V stitches. I'm going to make sure I have the same amount of V stitches on every side. And one of the things, when you get kind of on this edge, sometimes the spacing doesn't work out perfect. I just go ahead and put one in there. So you'll have to play around with it. If you feel like that's too tight, you might have to kind of shift your work or something. But however you can make those little V stitches fit in there. Like I said, I just sat down and started crocheting this, so it's not like a perfectly written pattern, if you will, but it works. So anyhow, time check 8:30. Oh dang, I'm not gonna have time to do more rosebuds. Well, you know what, Gen X, that's okay. I think tomorrow morning, maybe I'll just call it quits right here. Okay, I don't like usually stopping in the middle, but um, since I do have to go to work, why don't we just plan on working on this project again tomorrow? And that way, those who have not seen these little rosebuds, we can start out with that on the live tomorrow because we'll be putting those right in here. And I'll finish up the V stitch um, tomorrow morning, and then we can start into the rosebuds. So if you missed the first part of me crocheting this, this center part here, we worked day 1, we worked from here to here, and that is on the YouTube. You can see the live replay. Okay. Now, today I'm on YouTube and on TikTok, and we've done this much here. So I'll do another day tomorrow, and we'll just do more rosebuds, and that'll be kind of the way we end our week for Thanksgiving. So if everybody's cool with that, let's plan on that. And thank you guys, everybody, for all of the screen taps and likes and everything this morning, and all of the shares. We had 33 shares this morning over on TikTok. And thank you to all the YouTubers that are watching me this morning as well. I'm fairly new to streaming live on YouTube, so I appreciate the support. But I hope everybody has a great day. And I know if you guys are doing Thanksgiving week, maybe people got vacations and travel plans. I hope everybody, if you don't catch me tomorrow on the live, I hope you guys all have a fabulous Thanksgiving. And if you're traveling, I hope you have, safety as you're traveling, and have a great weekend with family and just celebrating. So thank you all for joining me this morning. I'm signing off, and bye for now. I will see you tomorrow.